Hello everyone, so welcome to my course on Laplace transforms. So today we are going to see what do you mean by differentiation of transforms, or what is derivative of Laplace transforms, or another way of saying this is what is Laplace transform of t raised to n f of t. Well, I can directly give you the formula, but before giving you the formula, let me try to connect this with whatever we have seen earlier. So after seeing derivative over here, I hope many of you have recalled, or they must have recollected what they have seen earlier, that they have seen what is Laplace of a derivative, what is Laplace of f dash, what is Laplace of f double dash, right? So this is nothing but the dual of that thing. And how it is forming the dual, so let me explain that part first, because it is important to relate with what you are studying, and then I will give you the formula and then we will take some examples. So we have seen this in our previous lecture, what is Laplace of a derivative of a function, right? If you have not seen, I will post the link in the description, you can have a look. So if Laplace of f is f of s, we saw what is Laplace of the first derivative, Laplace of second derivative, in general what is Laplace of nth derivative, and so on. And what we observe, Laplace of derivative depends on nothing but the Laplace of the original function, and you are ultimately multiplying it by the variable. Which variable? The variable in the s space. What is the variable in s space? The variable in s space is nothing but your s only. Okay, so Laplace of derivative is nothing but it depends on the Laplace of original function with some modification like multiplying with the powers of s. Now dually, if I want to see what happens if I multiply my function with a variable in t space. Now what is the variable in t space? T is the variable in t space, right? So my question is, what happens if I multiply my function with t, that means with a variable in t space, then what will happen? The answer is, it is nothing but minus of derivative in the s space. So when there was a derivative in the t space, its Laplace was nothing but the Laplace of the original function, and we are multiplying with s. Now if I'm multiplying with my function in a t space, then its Laplace is nothing but it's a derivative in the s space with this minus sign over here. Okay, and what is my function? My function is a nice function. Nice function as in it satisfies the conditions which we saw in our lecture of existence theorem. That means it's a exponential growth and piecewise continuous and all those nice things. So obviously one can ask, if I multiply by t square, okay, so here it was a square, it was the nothing but the Laplace of the double derivative. So here if I square my function in the t space, what is the answer? Well, you simply take the double derivative in your s space of the original transform, okay, transform of the given function. So here also, you're ultimately when you're multiplying by t square, your answer depends on the derivatives of the Laplace of the original function. So everywhere your output is depending on the Laplace of the original function, but with some modification. So that's why this is called as the duality of the Laplace of derivative. Okay, so obviously now one can generalize. So when it was t, there was a minus sign. When there was a t square, there was no minus sign. For t cube, again the minus sign comes. For t raised to 4, minus sign doesn't come. So ultimately the formula for Laplace of t raised to n f of t is nothing but minus 1 raised to n into nth derivative of the Laplace transform. So when your n is 1, you have minus f dash. When n is 2, you have f double dash. When n is 3, minus f of third derivative, and so on. So derivative of transform is dual of Laplace of derivative. Okay, so I hope the duality is clear. Now let's go for the examples. So let's start with an easy one. What is Laplace of t into sine 2t? So you have t over here, so you are multiplying with t in your t space. Ignore this t. What is Laplace of sine 2t? It is nothing but 2 upon s square plus 4. So when you are multiplying by t, how does the Laplace behave? It is nothing but minus of the derivative of the given function, okay, which is nothing but sine 2t if I ignore my t over here. And now this is easy to solve, right? What is this? You take out minus 2 outside. What is 1 upon x derivative? It is minus 1 upon x square. So this is minus 1 upon s square plus 4 whole square into chain rule, which is nothing but 2s. And you have 4s upon s square plus 4 the whole square. So whenever you have multiplication by t, this is how you are going to solve your problem. Let's go one step ahead. What is Laplace of t e raised to 3t cos 4t? So again you see t over here. So okay, ignore t over here. I know it is minus of the derivative of the Laplace transform. So you ignore t. This is what you have. Now you have exponential. So recall first shifting theorem. So what is Laplace of this? Laplace of this is nothing but, so you ignore this. What is Laplace of cos 4t? It is s upon s square plus 16. But now it is e raised to 3t. So you shift by 3 units. So this becomes s minus 3 upon s minus 3 whole square plus 16. And now there was a t, if you recall. So when you multiply by t over here, what is the change over here? It is minus of the derivative. And now you can apply your u upon v rule of derivative. What is u upon v rule? Denominator into derivative of numerator minus numerator into derivative of denominator upon denominator square. That is easy, that you can easily solve, and you get the answer of this Laplace. So I hope both the examples are clear. Now let's play with Laplace inverse. So you want to find Laplace inverse of 7 upon s plus 1 the whole square. So suppose Laplace inverse of this is f of t. So Laplace of f of t is this quantity. Okay, so as I told you earlier, you ignore 7 as if now for simplicity, you assume this is 1. Now you have this quantity over here. So I know that for e raised to minus t, Laplace is 1 upon s plus 1. So question is, what is Laplace of t e raised to minus t? So it is nothing but you take the Laplace of e raised to minus t, which is 1 upon s plus 1, and then when you are multiplying by t, it is minus of the derivative, and this is nothing but 1 upon s plus 1 the whole square. So Laplace of t e raised to minus t is 1 upon s plus 1 the whole square. And now here you had 7, if you recall. So this is nothing but 7, you multiply by 7. So Laplace inverse of 7 upon s plus 1 the whole square is nothing but 7t e raised to minus t. So this is what your answer is. So I hope the example is clear. Let me take one more example so you have much better idea. So we want to find Laplace inverse of this quantity. So 2s plus 2 upon this the whole square. Okay, now there is a shift in s, you can see, and s square plus 1, that means sin t, and e raised to minus 2t, those things should come into picture, right, because of the first shifting theorem. And here you are having a square. So what is 1 upon s plus 1 the whole square? It is minus 1 upon s plus 1 the whole square. So kind of derivative is coming into picture. So if I collect all these things together, because of s plus 2 there is a shifting, e raised to minus 2t will come into picture. Now s square plus 1, and this derivative you can see is there in the numerator. So derivative is coming in the picture, and this derivative is there in the numerator. So if I take e raised to minus 2t into sin t. Now what is Laplace of this? This is nothing but 1 upon s plus 2 the whole square plus 1. This is nothing but the Laplace. Now if I multiply by t over here in the t space, what is the answer? It is minus of the derivative. And what is this quantity? Minus into, what is derivative of this? Numerator into derivative of numerator, which is 0, minus 1 into derivative of this, which is 2 into s plus 2 upon this whole square. Minus minus go away and you get the required thing. So therefore Laplace inverse of this quantity is nothing but t e raised to minus 2t into sin t. So that's how one solve the problem of Laplace inverse. Okay, for t square t cube it becomes quite complicated, but at least make sure you are comfortable with t multiplication. Okay, if you had somewhere cube over here, then the chances is double derivative might come into picture, or the fourth power is there, then double derivative might come into picture. So while looking at the expression, you have to think whether it will be first derivative, second derivative, third derivative, and so on. So I hope both the examples are clear. In my next lecture, I will talk about integration of transforms, and then there I will take an example which will involve this concept as well as the new concept. So I hope all the 4 examples are clear. Let me give you an homework problem so that you can do some practice. So try to solve these 2 problems and write down these answers in the comment section. And if you have any other problems where you are getting stuck, then also you can ask me in the comment section. So I hope you understood the concept. If yes, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.